Si tú me hubieras dicho siempre la verdad. Si tú me hubieras dicho siempre la verdad. Si tú me hubieras dicho means if you would have told me. Si is the conditional conjunction for if in English. You can differentiate it from si, which has an accent on the I and means yes. Tú is the informal version of you, and me means me, indicating the action is directed towards the speaker. The phrase hubieras dicho is formed by combining the conditional past tense of the auxiliary verb haber, to have, which is you had, and dicho, which is the past participle of the verb said. So, hubieras dicho means had told or had said. A common phrase with hubieras dicho is me hubieras dicho antes. You can even shorten it to just me hubieras dicho, which already implies the past tense. Siempre la verdad means always the truth. So altogether, the sentence si tú me hubieras dicho siempre la verdad expresses a hypothetical condition stating that if you, in this case the girl in the video, had always told the truth, something would have been different between them.
Si hubiera respondido cuando te llamé.
Si hubieras respondido cuando te llamé. Si hubieras respondido cuando te llamé. Si hubieras respondido means if you had responded. We have si as the conditional conjunction again, hubieras as you had, and respondido, which is answered or responded, as the hypothetical action. For instance, if a friend was not responding your messages and you wanted to invite them to eat, you could tell them, si hubieras respondido mis mensajes, te hubiera invitado a comer. Cuando te llamé means when I called you. Cuando means when. And te llamé means I called you. If we watch Luis Miguel's video on FluentU and click on the word llamé, you can see that the definition is called, which is the past tense of the verb llamar, to call someone. And if we scroll down, you can check how the word is used in authentic scenarios, like in this Friends clip.
Así que llamé al padre y le dije que te viera aquí.
Luis Miguel is implying in this line that if only the girl would have answered his calls, things could have taken another route.
Si hubieras amado cuando te amé.
Si hubieras amado cuando te amé. Si hubieras amado cuando te amé. Si hubieras amado means if you had loved. Here, amado is the past tense of amar, which means to love. However, you can also find that amado can be a noun in certain contexts. It can be used to refer to a person that is loved, and loved would turn in this case to be beloved. For instance, Luis Miguel es el amado sol de México. Keep in mind though, amado is more commonly used as a noun in artistic and poetic expressions. Here, Luis Miguel disappointedly expresses to the girl that everything would be different between them if only she would have loved him the way he did.
Serías en mis sueños la mejor mujer.
Serías en mis sueños la mejor mujer. Serías en mis sueños la mejor mujer. Serías means you would be and is the conditional form of the verb ser, to be. Serías is commonly used to tell someone else what they could be in a hypothetical scenario. For example, tú serías un gran cantante. En mis sueños means in my dreams, stating a fantasy or idealized situation. La is the feminine singular article meaning the. The word mejor, if we search it up on Google, is an adjective that typically translates to better. If we go back to Luis Miguel's video on FluentU, we will see that since he says la mejor, the word mejor is being used in its superlative form, where it means instead best. Therefore, la mejor mujer means the best woman. For instance, you can check out these simple example sentences to learn the word mejor, such as
Tú eres mi mejor amigo.
And you can also watch mejor being used in this clip from the movie Interstellar so you can truly learn how to use it in context.
Eres el mejor piloto que hayamos tenido.
This line wraps up the previous what-if scenarios. Luis Miguel basically says that if the girl had done all those things mentioned before, she would have been the perfect woman in his dreams.
Si no supiste amar, ahora te puedes marchar.
Si no supiste amar, ahora te puedes marchar. Si no supiste amar, ahora te puedes marchar. This next sentence is a cause and effect one. The cause, si no supiste amar, is composed of the conditional if and no supiste amar, which means you didn't know how to love. Then, the effect follows with ahora te puedes marchar, which means now you can leave. However, keep in mind the word marchar could also mean to march, which typically refers to walking in a rhythmic manner, like the ones they do in the military. Or you can even hear in some Latin American countries how the word marchar can also be used as to make something run or to start working. For example, voy a poner a marchar el motor del carro. In this context though, Luis Miguel is telling the girl that since she didn't know how to properly love him, it's better if she leaves.
Si tú supieras lo que yo sufrí por ti.
Si tú supieras lo que yo sufrí por ti. Si tú supieras lo que yo sufrí por ti. Si tú supieras means if you knew or if you only knew. This phrase is often used to emphasize how important it is for the speaker that the person being addressed could be aware of their feelings or thoughts. For instance, you could say, si supieras cuánto te amo. You will also notice how tú is omitted, as the context makes it clear who it is referring to in the phrase. It is very common to see the pronoun omitted in everyday conversations. Lo que yo sufrí por ti translates to what I suffered because of you. If we click on lo que on our interactive subtitles, you can see it translates to different pronouns like what, that, and which. And remember, we can see more different ways in which the phrase lo que can be used. This will provide you with the precise in-context definition of the word and accurate example videos on how to use it in real-life conversations.
Pero lo que no saben es que esos monstruos no siempre dieron tanto miedo.
¿Por qué no escuchas lo que está tan cerca de ti?
FluentU offers a wide range of authentic videos, including movie clips, TED Talks, and a vast selection of music videos. Each clip comes with a detailed breakdown of every word, ensuring you understand it fully and helping you apply new vocab effortlessly in your day-to-day life. FluentU also has personalized quizzes and speaking questions to help you nail down what you've learned. If you would really like to step up your Spanish learning journey, you can try FluentU for free for 2 weeks by clicking on the link in the description box below. And FluentU currently has a special sale, so now it's a great opportunity to get it. Let's continue with the breakdown.
Si tú supieras lo que yo sufrí por ti.
Yo sufrí means I suffered, and sufrí is the past tense of sufrir, which means to suffer. Por ti means for you, where ti is the informal version of the pronoun tú, which means you. Overall, si tú supieras lo que yo sufrí por ti is the main part of a conditional sentence. It sets up a condition saying, if you knew what I suffered for you, and even though the consequence is not explicitly mentioned, it implies how things could be different if the girl knew about Luis Miguel's suffering for her.
Teniendo que olvidarte sin saber por qué.
Teniendo que olvidarte sin saber por qué. Teniendo que olvidarte sin saber por qué. Teniendo que means having to or having the obligation to. Teniendo is the present participle of the verb tener, which means having. And que is a conjunction which means to. Teniendo que is often used in conversations to express having to do something, like estoy teniendo que ahorrar dinero para mis vacaciones. Teniendo que is commonly used if the action is an ongoing situation in the present. Olvidarte means to forget you, and it comes from the verb olvidar, which means to forget. Sin saber por qué means without knowing why. Sin means without, and saber is the infinitive verb to know. The addition of sin, without, before saber modifies its meaning to without knowing. This construction emphasizes the absence or lack of knowledge or awareness about something. Porque, having por, separated from que and with an accent on the e, means why. Altogether, this phrase describes the experience where Luis Miguel must forget the girl without understanding the reason behind it.
Y ahora me llamas, me quieres ver.
Y ahora me llamas, me quieres ver. Y ahora me llamas, me quieres ver. Y ahora me llamas means and now you call me. Y means and ahora means now. Me llamas means you call me, where llamas is the present tense of the verb llamar, to call. But llamas, depending on the context, could also mean flames or llamas, the fluffy camelid from Peru. And me quieres ver literally means you want to see me. You could also add a question mark and it would be instead me quieres ver. Here you would add do you to emphasize on the question. You can use this phrase in daily conversations. For instance, if you would like your loved one to show interest in seeing you, you could tell them, pasa por mi casa si me quieres ver.
Me juras que has cambiado y piensas en volver.
Me juras que has cambiado y piensas en volver. Me juras que has cambiado y piensas en volver. Me juras means you swear to me. Que has cambiado means that you've changed. Que could also mean what, but in this case, it's a conjunction, so it translates to that, for, or to. If you love expanding your Spanish vocabulary, discovering synonyms, and exploring figurative expressions, then don't miss out on our upcoming video of Friends, where Chandler finds himself in a sticky situation by dating Rachel's boss.
Si no supiste amar, ahora te puedes marchar.
Si no supiste amar, ahora te puedes marchar. Si no supiste amar, ahora te puedes marchar. This is the chorus, so he's just insisting that if she didn't know how to value his love before, it's better that she leaves now.
Aléjate de mí, no hay nada más que hablar.
Aléjate de mí, no hay nada más que hablar. Aléjate de mí means get away from me or stay away from me. Aléjate is the reflexive imperative form of the verb alejarse, which means to move away or distance away. In this case, it's a command to another person to go away or that they distance themselves or stay away from something. A good example is when moms tell their children to be careful at the kitchen. Aléjate de la estufa. No hay nada más means there is nothing more. Nada más usually translates to nothing else. For instance, solo quiero verte, nada más. But in some regions of Mexico, it is very common to see nada más being used to say just. For example, nada más estoy esperando a mi amigo. Más with an accent on the A is also an adverb that means more, like quiero más comida. And que hablar means to talk about. It's an idiomatic expression usually used to say that there is a topic that needs to be discussed. Tenemos que hablar. Nevertheless, the sentence has the negative no and nada más, emphasizing that there is nothing else left to discuss between them. Contigo yo perdí, ya tengo con quién ganar. Contigo yo perdí, ya tengo con quién ganar. Contigo yo perdí means with you I lost, and ya tengo con quién ganar means now I have who to win with, or now I have someone with whom to win. The word ya literally means now, already, or yet. But in countries like Spain, for instance, ya is also used a lot to say okay. So ya tengo means I already have. Con quién means with whom, and ganar means to win. In general, the phrase ya tengo con quién ganar expresses that Luis Miguel already has someone to win with, and by winning, it implies achieving success in love and happiness. You know what I love? Songs that make you feel strong and help you move on from your exes, just like Luis Miguel did back in the 80s. And coming back to our times, there's this new awesome song by Karol G and Shakira where they show their exes who's boss. Let's keep learning more empowering vocab.